welcome to the very first episode of the Randy and Nick Show. That's right, that's the name, even though 82% of the people on Twitter said that it should be the Nick and Randy Show. Randy played the trump card and pulled the Randy and Nick Show.
Nick,
So,
you don't think the people don't know what they want? Quite frankly, the world's a very scary place, okay? Quite frankly. I thought I was supposed to take us in. Welcome to the first live pilot, premiere, whatever you want to call it, Randy and Nick Show.
insert a non-existent intro here.
Yeah, by the time maybe this one goes out, I don't know if I would have written a song yet. But if you're hearing a song right now, you're welcome. Now
Double songs.
I got to do something with that melody now. It's in my head. And it's going to be trumpet.
Before it destroys you.
So, one thing that I want to kind of start this off with is, yes, Randy before Nick, except after pick. Ba-doom. Secondly,
Nice one, Randy.
and unrelatedly, so many ways I want to kind of start this. I think I'm just going to start from the beginning. We had talked about expanding the dynamic
Content.
of what who we are as showmen, who we are as
Internet celebrities, you can say it, Randy. I have over 200 followers on my social media platform. I am very famous, okay?
I don't know if I know 200. Actually, that's not true. I genuinely think I know about 500 IRL people. And, yeah. Anyway,
Well, my mom has about 8 social media accounts, and she follows me on all those. So we got to discount that a little bit.
we have to discount. So, but we it's not that we don't like tech or EV, but we spend a lot of time. If you were to take out of the 7-day week, we only use the time that's recorded on air during the podcast, the other podcasts. Then when we talk about that stuff, excluding, special events and hypes and stuff like that, you and I would get on FaceTime and talk about literally everything else in the world. And
Exactly.
4 people that we know had reached out to me separate from one another. It wasn't like an intervention, but they were like, I would like to see more content from you guys that aren't tech and EV related.
Yeah.
And I told one of the 4 people, I was like, what if I said that was already kind of happening? So...
Well, and about that time, if I recall correctly, I did have this sit-down conversation with you where I said, Randy, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and make some fantastic content? And you were like, yes! And then I sent you a show logo that was kind of in the works. And you were like, yes, I'll join, but I have to come first. And I was like, all right, Nick and Randy show has died. Kill it if you must. It is now the Randy and Nick Show.
Randy always comes first.
Randy before Nick, except after pick. I like that. I'm gonna use that. Means to be the tagline or something.
Can I just say really quickly? And I will say honestly that I cheated before we started recording, so I said some of the things you already know. But I want to say out loud and kind of dive into it. I really like that shirt on you.
I wanted to bring it up, which is why I'm wearing the Silent Hustlers T-shirt.
Had I known you were going to do that,
very special shirt.
Had I known you were going to do that, I would have put mine on. But I don't have the black one. And right before we started, and I saw Nick change out of his
I changed. I was baiting Randy so bad. I was wearing a completely different shirt at the beginning of this FaceTime call, and halfway through, just like Superman, I ran into the telephone booth and went.
Nick only has but the
And
one shirt that everybody's aware of.
I know. I only have that one green shirt.
But today, so I saw that. I was like, I like that color. I have the gray one, but the black one looks better in my opinion.
It's almost like it's more minimal.
Like that font. That typography we got going on right there.
There's it's missing parts of the letters, but you can still read it. It's the utter amount of barely being able to read the letters, but you can still read the letters.
It's almost like hieroglyphics. No, not hieroglyphics, because that's a different. But yeah, it's almost like a decoder. Your brain. When I went into designing that font, I wanted to. I was very conscious about the fact that I wanted the brain to fill in the missing pieces because I wanted the thought exercise to be that that people are, that there's more that goes on that you are visibly seeing than what meets the eye with the shirt. With just on a very surface level, there's more going on with the font than what you can see because you have to fill in the other pieces there. And that is a metaphor for the silent hustlers because there's more that goes on to an end product than just the final product of what you see. So I wanted the font to represent the meaning and the meaning to represent the analogy. So
it's just like a snowball of buried meanings.
I'm very good at that. I always do things that are so. I've said this on different platforms, so I'm gonna say it here. I do everything very intentional in the sense that if you just want a surface level experience, you're gonna get one heck of a surface level experience. But for the deep divers who want to go further down the rabbit hole, I have a whole universe for people to explore if they are willing to invest that time. My promise to you and to myself as the creator of it, of this world, is that I won't waste your time. I don't like wasting time. So I make it worthwhile. It's not going to be clickbaity. It's not going to be something that's like if you dug deep and all you saw was that, oh, he used I don't know, the notepad and that was the hidden then it would have been a waste of time. I make sure that I plant Easter eggs in literally everything that I do.
I know for a fact there are videos from 2018 on your YouTube channel which make reference to things which people still have not discovered that are still out there. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll leave you deep divers to, discover it. But it's out there. It's out there. Every time I see it, I'm like, I know. And I only know because you told me, because there's no way I would have discovered that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this show going to be about?
Ooh. I would tell you, one, as the title implies,
it's mostly about Randy.
It's mostly about me and sometimes you. I would say that let's talk in an open form question that's more answering its own question. You know,
I like that.
What is it that we talk about a lot that has nothing to do with tech? I mean, we talk about tech all the time. And besides tech, though, I would argue, and maybe in a bragging way, I have over the last couple of years changed the way you approach things. And
absolutely,
I'm proud of it, not because it's like my protege. I'm proud of it because you took my initial whatever it is that I planted on you, and you ran with it, and you expanded on it.
I watered it, and I grew it, and it
showed
blossomed
me
into this beautiful thing.
You create things that I would be like, I would have done something like that, but maybe it's obviously in your own format of it, which makes it unique and still fresh perspective for me. And one thing that, for the sake of showing how we had to deviate from tech, is the whole doing the iPhone 12 mini thing. So this thing's small, and I purposely knew this is what I wanted. And anybody who knows Nick knows he's a fan of big displays, best battery, best maxed out this, that.
Premium.
No dollar is too much type of mentality. And I was being very cognitive about trying to reduce all of that, and not just in that phone, but in all things of my life. And I saw you. It wasn't just like that. I remember around the phase of when it started happening, but it didn't happen overnight. It has been a progression that I would say is still happening.
Absolutely.
As it should be, because when it comes to minimalism, it's an ongoing adjustment always. You're never done. It's a way of life. It's how you view the world through your lens. So we're gonna talk that's what this show's gonna be about, is from the aspects of aspiring. You called yourself a minimalist, an essentialist. I've introduced you to that word. Things that you can always improve upon, about challenging what's presented in front of you to say, do I need this?
Is there a better way to do
Why?
this? Is there Is there a simpler way to do this?
The whole point, in a very rebellious way, is that or rebellious way is you challenge everything. You don't accept it at face value, because accepting things at face value in one way kind of makes you, sheepish, but not in the cool Apple way sheep. It makes you like a sheep to life in the way that you're okay with complacency.
Just accept how it is.
I would say
that's one of the things that I really appreciate about what you've kind of enlightened me with, if that's the term we're going with.
Enlightenment.
There's always been the status quo in my mind where, like, the world is the way it is, and that's how the world works. But no, each individual, every single person listening or watching to this, you and me, Randy, we all have the capacity to change stuff in our personal lives. Now, they might not look like big things. Obviously, the president or, prime minister can do big things, make big changes, but in our lives, we have ultimate control over what happens. And so making that switch from the iPhone XS Max, 512 gigabyte storage, maxed out all the way to the max, no case, Apple Care, just complete bougie Nick, to the Nick who uses a $700 smartphone that is much smaller than other things that are attached to me, and keeping it in a case, which is, not something I regularly do, because I want to keep it for an extended amount of time. And just like, look at my home screen, right? Like, I don't have any apps on my home screen. Every time I let someone use my phone, they are so confused. It's just things like that. And in my you introduced me to the Simple Bank. I'm sure we'll have a whole episode on simple banking. Oh yeah, I'm sure that has to get added to the list.
So but, minimalism is one of them. I would say we will talk about the ongoing aspirations of financial independence, and therefore something that, when is this episode going live?
After the 11th.
Okay,
pretty soon after the 11th.
So I can say the whole fact. So we're recording this. Here's a teaser for it. Tonight is tonight, and it's December 3rd.
The 3rd.
So
yeah.
As I came out publicly about this on social media platforms, I was going independent, full on indie, true to the brand of my own of going indie. I went indie. When you are watching this, I have now gone indie, and it's something that I am so pumped for. Realistically, I got one more week as of the day of recording this. I got one more week before I'm free. But what nobody else knows about is that the big secret is Nick is doing the same thing at the exact. We didn't even plan it. It was we just said this is going to be the day, and part of it is we want that freedom where we don't want to be beholden to a boss, to a authoritative figure. That we want to be our own boss, and with that, have our own financial independence. From that, to my point of view of financial independence, isn't a dollar amount. It's the act of how you receive it, because money will come and money will go. As long as you treat money as a tool, then it works for you. The moment you treat it as this is all I want, you're a slave to that. And one thing that I've learned over the last couple of years in my own personal life was that the money is not the solution. It is the resource to help me do stuff like this. This is the solution. This makes me so excited that you said, 30 minutes ago, hey, do you want to do this right now? And I said, let's do it.
Yeah. I believe Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank said this. I just saw it on Twitter a couple days ago, which is why it's fresh in my memory. And it's been super pertinent as I look to quit my job. I've, been on... for all those people from my previous employer, I love you. You guys are awesome. Love the company. I loved what I did. But, man, there's something about a salary which just limits you. I believe this quote, and I'm probably going to butcher it, is, a salary is what they give you when they want you to give up your dreams.
Kevin did say that.
Ooh,
he did say that.
That is good. Because that's what I was doing there, and it was fun work, and it was fine day to day, and there was nothing bad about the job, but I didn't wake up inspired to do something, and I do that with podcasting. I for those who don't know, I spend about 10 hours a week on the Tech and EV podcast every week, And that's in addition to a 65 hour a week job, full-time job. And I lived for those 10 hours. Yeah. During those 60 hours, I was sitting there thinking of fun things that I was going to do in those 10 hours. And I know lots of times I would be excited to get done with work, at 7 or 8 in the evening, to be able to go pursue something creative, because all day it's been, percolating in the back of my head, like, the iPhone mini here to here to here ad, and all of these, fun little projects.
I like that, by the way. That was fun to see.
Thank you. Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing that. But they're like all of these things that I wanted to do and I want to do. But the thing wasn't, the limiting part wasn't the equipment. Like, I have a great camera setup, great lighting setup. I'm very happy, and actually it's all going to change, actually. If you're watching this on the 11th, in a few weeks, it's all going to be different because we have big plans. But I have the equipment, right? And so it's not the equipment. I can't use the equipment as an excuse for me not be able to do stuff. Heck, I've done things in motion here that I didn't know I could do. And it's like lots of things that I have the tools for, but I didn't have the time to do that with my previous job. And as I was looking at, Randy had mentioned probably about 2 or 3 weeks before I made my decision that he was, pretty certain he was going to be going full time. And that, again, planted a seed in my mind where I was like, okay, if Randy's going to make the jump, there's probably not going to be a much better time to make the jump than right now, because it's like jumping into the deep end of a big cold pool. It's scary, and at least for me, maybe it's a different situation for you, Randy, but like in one moment I am clenching every muscle in my body as tight as it goes, because I am just scared to death that it's going to crash and burn, and my entire livelihood is now with this one camera and an internet connection, right? Which I'm pumped for, on the other hand, because I have complete freedom, and I'm not going to be slacking off, right? When I was talking with my family about quitting my job, they're like, "Oh wow, you're going to do content creation? Like, really?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to treat this as a full-time job. I have a schedule, 40 to 50 hours a week of content that I'll be creating, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to get started on this. I have like pages and pages and pages of ideas. All that to say, it's all about the financial freedom. I've seen some of those pages. Yeah, dude, I am pumped. But it's all about the time and the freedom that you have, right? I would much rather make 10% of the money that I could, and enjoy and have that freedom to do whatever I want, right? Like, not have to report to a boss, not have to, follow someone else's drum. I want to beat my own path.
I think for me, no, I would say that you're not the only one feeling that I obviously feel the same fear. I made a tweet a couple nights ago, expressing that the idea of doing this full time makes me anxious, because like I get like full-blown anxiety, borderline anxiety attacks, because of that fear that's like it's all on me. No pressure, when it is all pressure.
Yeah,
but
exactly. It's a different kind of pressure, though.
It is a different kind of pressure. And actually, I'll go over that moment. I'll go over that in a moment. But then also the idea of, like, even though that gives me almost anxiety attack, the idea of capping my creativity makes me genuinely, like, clinically depressed, to the point that, like, years ago I tattooed "create" just right here so I can see it, to remind myself why I keep going, because I know what makes at the time when I put it on my body, it was because I knew unequivocally, like, that was what fueled me, was creating, whether it was the music, whether it was doing videos, whether it's doing the podcast, whether it was making a shirt, whether it any of it, all of it, it's all me. And it was it's a version of me that I almost felt like it was like, like I'm in the closet about it, that I couldn't express it, because whether it's
all about the time, right?
Something. But then when I started opening up about what I wanted to do, not just on Twitter, I made a post on Facebook where my family, immediate family, and closest friends, at least here in San Diego, they track me there, and I had a higher support system on Facebook when I made the announcement than I did on Twitter. And Twitter was nothing but positivity, but it was tenfold, I would say, on Facebook. And my project manager, who I used to work with on the contracts I was with, he hearted the reaction to it. Like my dad acknowledged what I'm doing. My old like Marine Corps drone instructors acknowledged it, which isn't, because the thing is, in context to me, all I knew was the military leading up to all of this. That I'm a contractor with the Navy now, and before that I was active. When this comes out was contractor, full-time contractor with the Navy, doing stuff that doesn't anyway. And then I was in the Marine Corps active duty. All I know is DOD, Department of the Navy side of it, and a part of me feels like I still know that because my wife is now in the Air Force, so I feel like I'm not letting go of that full side completely. But my involvement in a professional work environment is no longer going to be that when that's all I knew. The only time I took a break from that was when I went back to school and I was trying to do a film production company, but it was more grassroots, like guerrilla warfare, running out in the streets type of a thing. Nothing like this. This did not come to fruition for me.
You did some pretty impressive stuff back then, though.
Well, thank you. I've
definitely seen some of the content. You did like some ads and like really professional looking stuff.
I had fun. I definitely had a lot of fun.
You have the knack for it.
Yeah, I used it as a coping mechanism when I started YouTube. When I did YouTube back in... When I actively started posting to YouTube, I should say, in 2010, 2011, it was just...
So back before I was out of diapers?
It was me killing time. It was me dealing with my Marine Corps life and just needed an outlet. And I was like, there's something here to this. And around the same time, I started writing my first ever original music, and I was like, there's something here too. I never thought about bridging any of that. One, because YouTube wasn't like that back then, so there wasn't really the platform like that. 2013 is when I was like, maybe I could do something with all this stuff. Or 2013 to 2015 is when I was like really pushing YouTube on myself. But as a creative journal for me while I was still in school and slowly getting back into the contracting world with the Navy. But then, honestly, it wasn't until meeting you guys that the hobby became like a responsibility. And the way I have in my brain is that it became a responsibility because if it was just me, it would have failed. But when I have to have other people rely on me, and there's that responsibility of them depending on me, I don't want to let you guys down. And then it went from just us three for so long to one day, hey, 2,000 people are downloaded our thing. I'm like, what? And then it just kind of started. Everything was falling into place then. So the anxiety part of it is not. The different anxiety is more of like, I'm anxious to just get the stuff out there and to try something new. And much like you, I am creating a schedule. I do have a schedule that I'm gonna kind of stick to, and it is gonna be a full-time job. Because I told my wife, like, hey, I want to do this full-time, and she was like, and it wasn't until I was showing her the money that we were making from the podcast alone, and I'm still making money off of the Tesla experience, right?
Yep.
And that's paying me every month too, and then I just got to pay out from my main music channel, and then I got the streaming of my music that's paying me. I have my one thing I didn't mean to do was I diversified my income and mitigated my risk. Completely unintentional. So anyway, we're gonna talk about money and how.
So welcome to this show.
Yeah,
and the extra diversification.
we're diversifying. We're gonna talk about freedom. We're gonna talk about the creative life. We're gonna talk about minimalism. We're gonna talk about
architecture.
I was about to say, like, more important than anything, we're gonna talk about the one I'm really excited. Like, you can see, I'm really sliding up. We're gonna talk about aesthetics.
You guys think Randy and I sit up at night at 3 a.m. like this? We are not talking about Apple products or Apple technology at all. We are talking about beautiful design, beautiful architecture, simplicity, just contrasting materials and colors. And we have many a thought.
The few times that we've teased things on Twitter, what we talked about, and people are like, "What's that?" Like that told me like, "Oh, people are interested in what we're talking about." That I could tell that they knew we weren't talking about tech anymore. Mm-hmm. And you know what it made me think about, Nick? Is much like that shirt you're wearing, and one of the things that kind of inspired it was I learned throughout my my own individual journey within this past year, people relate to me a lot more than I think I ever gave them credit for, and I will admit, it might be a fault of my own of not understanding the impact of my voice. Not just the volume. I mean, actually, what I say and how it clicks with people resonates. And so many people had reached out to me in September saying that, like, I understand. And people would share their struggles, too, and say that I was in this situation as well. And then they would just be like, I don't know. There was a connection that was happening. And so then what clicked to me is I think both of us, actually, I think bigger than just you, me, or you, me, and Drew, I think the people who listen to us are more like us than I've ever given credit for.
Yes.
Because of things like with the shirt, and then even the feedback I got with the shirt, and just the things that I was saying, I see people connect to it. I think the fact that you and I talk about aesthetic, whether it's from an architectural design point, which I can go. We will have episodes just dedicated to that because I'm so excited. But I think people connect to the overall vision that we have of what we want to, add to the world with our own flavor. And I think there are more people who understand that flavor than I had ever given credit for. And that's going to be fun to kind of dive into. I'm excited. If not just with you and me, I'm excited to hear what what everyone else who would listen to this would have to add to it. I'm going to treat this like it's just you and me talking like we've always talked. And the fact that how many times have we drove in the car and you'd be like, man, I wish we could have been recording this. Like I
think we tried that once, right? I don't know. We
did do a real one for sure. But then there's other times where that would happen. Yeah. And I'm going to treat it like I'm just talking to you. And if we end up having people who listen to this, I'm extremely grateful, but I don't know. One thing I think about this whole going independent thing is I'm coming into it with no expectations. I don't expect anybody to care what I have to say. The fact that people have gone out of their way to tell me that, I need to give myself more credit that they do care. I'm very grateful, but nobody, from a very pessimistic point of view, nobody owes me anything, and so it's just weird. I don't know. The whole thing's, and I think that's the intimidation factor for me is that I know part of me, like, nobody owes me anything, and I'm crazy enough to want to do it. Another thing that somebody said, you referenced the Kevin O'Leary thing. For me, it's entrepreneurs are the only people who will work 80 hours a week just so they don't have to work 40. And it's the weirdest thing that clicks for me that's why I knew you were going to do this at some point, because you've always had the entrepreneurial mindset on literally everything, which it never made sense why you were in accounting.
I know, right? I was gonna say, man, at what point in our friendship you should have just been like slapping me upside the head, being like, dude, get out of accounting school. It's not going to be a great long-term fit, because I am such an entrepreneur. I've started many businesses. All of them have not gone anywhere, mostly due to time, because I shifted towards that salary and taking that salary, and as opposed to the freedom that comes from entrepreneurship. And it's a lot of work, and stress, right? Lots of stress. But it's gonna happen, and if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. We got safety nets in place, we got savings, we got heck, go out and get back our old jobs pretty easily, in the corporate world.
Given my life with the military, again, without going too much into it, I know I have a job set for me for life if I need it. And I don't take that for granted. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity that came from me for that. But one thing that's more valuable than a job which I hate that word, but it's the only way I can translate what I feel sometimes. Like, I'm going to treat this like a job. I don't like that word. Part of me feels like come next Friday, as of today recording this, I'm retiring. And for me, what's more valuable than the money is the time. And it was my wife's final push who actually made, even though she was like, you want to do this full time, until I had to show her the money. Like, here's what I'm making just by doing the bare minimum. Imagine if I committed to this for a couple years. I'm not expecting to make thousands of dollars a month within the first 6 months. If I do, holy crap, we broke something. But I expect to replace my income 5 years from now or something like that. But showing her that, she told me the same thing that I told her when she wanted to be a barber. All she's ever done was follow her dreams about what she wanted to be and be so excited to wake up and go to work for it. And I was always so jealous. I'm like, man, I wish I would be excited to leave the house the way you are. And she goes, I just love this so much. And she never lost that ambition. It wasn't until the whole pandemic thing that just kind of made her change course here. But she told me, while we changed course, I want you to do what you've always done for me, and I want you to go follow your dreams, and we'll be okay. I mean, obviously, it's not just a Hallmark card here. We made a plan financially about how this could be sustainable, but part of it was being minimal with the expenditures and stuff like that. I don't want to spend $1,000, $1,200 on an iPhone when I can allocate that money for either a better computer.
Tesla stock.
Oh my god! Oh my! You know what? I've entertained Nick. I don't know if I want to talk about finance on this show or not. I will sit and think about that. If I do, it might be on a conversational base with you and me talking. But I've thought about making. Maybe I'll treat this like a journal entry of my thoughts at the time. I've thought about making a separate finance channel. I've thought about converting one of my current channels to finance. One of the second most question I ever get is, how do I invest money? How do I start? Is actually the verbiage is how do I get started? And what they're asking me, they're not asking me the literal sense, because there's hundreds and thousands of YouTube videos now about it. They're asking me, how did I? And they don't know this is what they're asking me, but this is what they're asking me. How do I pick the next company I'm going to invest in? Part of it, I will say, was luck with Tesla, but it wasn't luck, because everything Tesla did was a carbon copy of 1980s Apple, which means I would expect at some point Tesla will have a severe dip in the market as well, and then they will have their second coming in a sense. I do suspect that, but I don't.
After Elon moves to Mars.
Yeah, and then because he's going to get ousted from Earth, and then he's going to come back to Earth better. But I honestly, I got so lucky with Tesla, and that made me say that it wasn't just luck. I knew there was something there, and I took a bet, hoping that my thoughts were right. And if I was wrong, then I said, well, I'm only 30. I'll recoup my money someday. It's not the end of the world. Because that's the thing. Part of the whole thing is you got to take risks about being, independent, about investing, about building something. There's risks involved with everything in life. There's risks with your heart when it comes to love. And people are so petrified with that. And the only way I became so charismatic, lucky enough to find somebody to call my wife, to have a business, to do was all about risk. And so many people live their life in fear. And I, too, at a certain level, lived my life in fear. I still do. I don't let it control me. That's the difference. I confront the fear, and instead of running, or the flight or fight instinct of it, is I approach it head on. And that was something I think maybe it was taught to me back in the Marine Corps, because, you put your life on the line in those type of environments. But here, you put your life on the line in a different way. Maybe not in the physical living or dead life on the line, but you do put your well-being, mental, financial, sometimes physical.
And your personality goes out there. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't dealt with a ton of hate comments, but they're out there, right? When you put yourself out there, that you gotta protect. There's a little bit of fear out there.
There
about
is. The
putting
fact that
yourself
every
out
time I
there.
Google, like I have Googled my name, and every time I Google my name, there's more pages about me that's come up, is weird. It's really weird. The associations that I'm tied to is also weird. Just the whole thing is weird. But this is the life that I chose to pursue.
Yep.
Which also solidifies the fact that I will never get into politics.
Hear, hear.
I can't.
I thought about that for one too many months, and here we are at the end of 2020, and I'm
Yeah, I can't. I can't get into politics because
mark my words, no more politics.
next week more politics. That's it. He's not getting
more
reelected.
politics.
I can't.
No.
I can't do politics because I think one, nobody likes you in politics. That's just
I know,
politics.
right?
Why do people want to be
That's
president?
what I'm recognizing. Like, okay, Joe Biden, he seems to have won at the current moment of recording this.
Yeah.
Most people kind of like him, but like more people are not liking him, even the people who voted for him. And you just like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't understand how any of this works. I thought, it was you like the guy you voted for him. Now, evidently, you didn't like the guy you voted for him. And anyway, it's just a big popularity contest, and they're all friends up at the top. But
To be
that's getting into a different show.
honest, I feel like I don't understand. I don't understand the hate that people, the same people who say they like Obama, don't like Biden, and I'm like, that was his VP. I saw interviews in 2017, I think, right before Biden said he was going to start campaigning, like a year before. He said that I saw interviews in 2015, 2016, people saying, Joe Biden, if you decide to run late in the game because we don't want Hillary, please do it. And then I fast forward 4 years and everyone's like, senile old fool. That's exactly the part about the hate that I'm talking Like, everybody hates you. Even the people who support you hate you. And I don't understand. And then you see people go, when whoever wins, this time it's Biden. Well, as of now, not all the, things, not everything has been certified yet. But presuming Biden his inauguration happens and he's sworn in and stuff like that. Leading up to it, everyone's holding these signs, woo, Biden, Harris, blah, 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 on the street like it's a sports game. Like my team won. And
it is a sports game.
And what is Wisconsin over there doing? And I think that's the divide. It's like we're all on the same team. It's America's team.
We're Team America.
I rooted for and I supported Trump the same way I rooted for and I supported Obama, especially when I was in service, because I have to, by orders executed by the commander in chief, was part of the swearing. Like, it didn't matter. And when I sworn, I served under Bush and Obama. I supported every leader because if they succeed, we all succeed. And the divide about all this nonsense just shows more of the brainwash manipulation. Why don't like cable TV? Why I won't get it? Because everyone, CNN is toxic, Fox is toxic. Everyone is pushing their guy. And
Twitter is getting that same toxicity.
Twitter
point
is
in my
toxic.
mind.
Instagram is toxic. And at least for now with YouTube, I try to train the algorithm to show me Johnny Ive videos. So it's not toxic for me yet.
Keep it that way.
Yeah. So if I could train the algorithm to show me things, but even then on YouTube I can't break the breaking news stuff. That'll get blown in my face too. So it's just weird. Everybody's pushing an agenda and I'm just over here thinking like how to design the perfect home.
What a transition. So we start with a white room.
I love it.
And we're done.
That's it. And then no. We start with the white room and then we get a British accent. When we went ahead with the white room.
And then we get a gray t-shirt.
Oh, my sign. Wait. No, it's not in here. I thought it was in here. It wasn't here at one point. When looking at the white room, we wanted to take away all complexity away from the simplicity. Whatever. Now I'm stumbling. Hey, can we talk really quickly about how awesome? It's a random thought, but that's what the show is anyway. How awesome was Drew's video today?
Oh my gosh, yes. So December 3rd's tech video on Tailosive Tech was him deciding between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Mini. the best video I've seen Drew make in a long, long, long time. I don't think I've rewatched it a couple times. I don't think it's beat out the Google Pixel 1 review for me personally. I like the Google Pixel 1 review that he did a long time ago. That just warms my heart every time I see the Apple Sheep go into Apple Sheep Overdrive and rant about the position of the headphone jack for 2.5 minutes. That's just me personally. But there was definitely some creativity there that I wanna try to capture in some of the content that I make, because you could tell he was just having fun with it. Like,
yeah,
it was no longer the decision between the Mini and the Max
He had a Drew behind the camera, a Drew on the floor. Yes. I'm assuming who I my takeaway from that, because he was talking about the whole comedy editing skit, and then another guy showed up. I'm like, oh, is this the editor, Drew? Mm-hmm. Like all these different versions of Drew, and it's just, it's great. I love it. It's exactly the type of content that I don't know if Drew's gonna listen to this. Assuming he's a good friend and supporting us, he will. To which, Drew, I have a question. And if he doesn't, I expect whoever is listening to this to send this part to him. My question or my suspicion is that he took the video I did about trying to explain tech to a non-tech person. Because there's a part when all the Drew started laughing, and I did that.
Yep. Yeah, you did that. I remember that.
And honestly, that's the style of content I like making, where it's just like the whole thing is just one big joke that we're poking fun of. And he's like, whoa, we should just get rid of all of it and go with Android.
No.
Yeah. No, but the whole thing was fun. I watched it 3 times. And as of recording this, I might go watch it a few more. I just had so much fun watching. I didn't even care what it did. At this point, I didn't care. I don't care if it was set up to he kept recording series. I don't care if it was true or false. Just judging how the production is, he made up his mind before filming, but I don't care. I just cared about what's the next thing the next Drew's gonna say, and I was having so much fun watching that. I hope to see more little creative sparks like that, because I laughed so hard at my desk at work today when I saw that. People were concerned, and I was just like, well, whatever. I was having a good time. That was a great video. So, free plug.
So, at the exact same level of content creation as Drew, which is almost infinite, we have my next favorite YouTuber, Ryan Reynolds.
He's great.
He's great.
I made a list. I don't know if I ever told you this list of what kind of content I want to make and who I'm inspired by.
Ooh,
and one of them,
an inspirations list. I don't have an inspirations list. I need to make
I wrote that.
Just
I wrote
Johnny
that.
Ive 80 times.
I have to find it. I tell you that's maybe about a year ago. I had Ryan Reynolds on there. I think I had Sam from iUpdate. I like his. It had to have been over a year. I like how calm Sam talks. Like I genuinely can just relax to him talking about things. Even when we did the podcast, I think it went so long just because I didn't want him to stop talking, because I was having so much. Like I just relax. Sue me. Let's see, video. Man, I'm looking right now. There. It must have been a long time. Oh my goodness. My investment strategy? No. I got the weirdest notes. Guacamole recipe. How to make the best guac. You know what? Since I'm here, screw it. Let's read it. 4 ripe Hass avocados. 4 of them. 4 teaspoons of lime juice. 4 of them. 4 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. A half a cup of red onion, finely chopped. 1 jalapeno. Include the seeds. I know. Wait. Ooh. Include the seeds. Trust me. Just 1. Finely chopped. And last but not least, half a teaspoon or more. This is where the taste will come into it, of kosher salt. Because it's kosher, it gives you the fine grating of it, and you what you use at that point, the salt will actually help bring out some of the. It reduces the jalapeno part, and it reduces the intensity of the lime. So that is my guac recipe. And everyone who's ever had my guac says it's the best ever. There you go. You heard it here first. An exclusive. And
Wow.
it's honestly great guacamole. So, yeah.
I think we need to have you on Talos of Food.
Okay. I can't find this video, Nick. Or not. I can't find this note, Nick. I don't know. When I find it out. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Got it. I do have iUpdate listed. Wow. All right.
Wow.
YouTube channels. What kind of channels do I want to have? What kind of channel or channels do I want to have? The inspiration. Humor, like Ryan Reynolds, was the first thing I wrote down.
Okay.
Financial approach, the way this guy Andre Jenk makes video, and I put parentheses quality. He makes very high quality videos. Storytelling, like Matt Diavella, the way he almost like he storyboards his videos preemptively on a minimalistic standpoint. Presentation, like Tech Altar, clean. He's a German. He's a German tech guy, and he has a very clean presentation to everything that he does. And the music complements his presentation very well. So I wrote down clean and music because I knew like it complements. You know, it's funny. I wrote this. What's today's date? Almost December 8th, 2019.
Wow.
So a year ago I wrote
Just
this.
about a year ago.
And all this is still true to this day. Relaxing voice like iUpdate. Calm. So then I wrote
Take
down
that,
like
Sam.
yeah, because he's so genuine
Hey guys,
how he
what
talks.
is up here? I'm Sam. We're going to
Hey,
talk about the latest
up,
point
guys?
release of the beta that I don't even know exists yet.
What's going on, guys? Hey, AirPods, crazy, right? It just something about him is just chilling.
I love that.
He's so
Oh.
chilling. And then I wrote down like I want to present like if I was to present the news of whatever I wanted to call the formula of it, the way like the Philip DeFranco show does it in short segments all in one, but make it entertaining like Louder with Crowder.
Okay.
Because it's definitely there's
Some comedy in there.
yes, Steven Crowder does not take himself seriously with that stuff. So yeah, there you go. So, and just for anybody, like it's not nothing about it had to do with political senses, which is why I said Philip DeFranco and Steven Crowder, because Crowder's right and DeFranco's left, but I like both their news stuff for different reasons, and I can learn something like that. Maybe if I can add onto it, I like the camera panning that Ben Shapiro uses in his videos when he's covering.
I have a slider at the top of my list, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a problem. Maybe this is a good place to admit it. This is a good. It's just you and me, Randy, talking. There's no one else listening.
Nobody cares about
feel
this.
free to admit all of
therapy.
my. I need some therapy here.
Let's do it.
I have a gear problem.
Last time you had a gear problem, I took it off your hands. Oh, I put it downstairs because I was using it.
I know. I need that back. You have my drone still. I haven't forgotten. I am really. I have probably $2,300 worth of stuff in an Amazon shopping cart.
Woo!
That like is there. I'm not gonna get it because that's just ridiculous, and I can make do with the amazing. I have amazing tools right now. But yeah, I really want a second angle with like a nice panning slider that's just so nice and subtle and
Like that one guy who unboxed the black card. He did that.
Yep.
Very
and
clean.
it's used in like a lot of like documentaries and stuff. They'll have like a talking head and like a slider.
Yeah.
It just looks so smooth to me. And then you get like one of those ATEM mini live streaming like boxes that like does all of the live streaming for you. And you can like switch between multiple pro camera angles with like the slider angle and the main angle and like an overhead shot. Like, oh man. But then I wake up in reality and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make do because I don't need that stuff. Because last time I checked, I bought a very expensive teleprompter that I do not use anymore. So that is just a perfect example of things that I think I need in the moment. And then I don't actually end up.
I
using
did
them
not
or
know
needing
you
them.
stopped using it, but from the get-go, I never understood why you got it.
I wanted it for I wanted to do some script. There's a tech channel that I watch. I'm forgetting his name. Um, anyway, he does scripted videos, like 20-minute scripted videos, and he's just so eloquent. And anyway, I'm like
Does this guy do mobile tech or what kind of tech?
No, it's like a kind of retro tech. I forget his name.
Oh, nice.
Technology something or other. But anyway, he does like, you know, how this old 80s CD player, VHS player worked, and he takes it apart and shows you all the little intricacies and stuff. And
is that the iBook guy? Well, he used to be called iBook guy. He changed his channel.
No. He's not anything Apple, that's for sure. He's very much a PC Windows guy. But anyway, he does scripted content, and for a while there, I was thinking I wanted to do a little bit more scripted content, but scripting is so much work. I didn't realize until I sat down and tried to script something, and I was like, boy, why would I want to write an essay when I could just talk?
I believe if you're going to script something, it would be something the camera's not on you anyway. I feel like the best scripted ones is the one when there's nothing but overlays the whole time when you're doing what I forget the content style. Not story. So many people do it. It's like what like Jordan does it with his channel, and he referenced it. He called it something, and oh my goodness, it's bothering me because so many people use it. It's meant to be like
Technology Connections. Almost 1 million subs.
Whoa!
Technology Connections.
Never heard of this guy.
Very fun. He did a pretty fun video on.
Do you still do the rule of not subscribing to anybody who's over 1 million?
I do have that rule, and I don't think I've talked publicly about this rule. So this might be a good opportunity to discuss this publicly. I have a kind of funny rule that
video essay. That's what it's. Sorry.
Video essay. Yes, that's the content style.
Yes. Yes. Video essay.
I don't like mainstream YouTube just because it's too mainstream. You know, I don't have anything against Marquez or against iJustine or against, you know, any of these, you know, Screen Rant or, you know, the big, you know, 10 million, 30 million subscriber channels. You know, I don't have a problem with them personally, but I do like the indie style content. There's something about the diamond in the rough type, and I feel like I get better content that way.
It feels. It's not like these other guys are unauthentic, but there's something about
it's
these
just like
indie people.
They're the mainstream.
What it is they are daring to try something new, and I like it. It's attractive to me because it's. I mean, it's what got me onto like Talos of Tech, for example, was the way it was so approached differently. There is definitely
and you kind of get tired of the same old, you know, Marquez and iJustine and all of them just doing a video on the exact same thing on the exact same day. Yeah. Every time the embargoes lift. And I don't know. You get a lot of different perspectives. Like, who's that Max Tech guy you put me onto a while ago?
Yeah, Max Tech, yep.
I've been eating up every single one of his M1 videos. Every single one. I'm just like, bring the content. I want it, please.
He does it.
And another guy.
Why we like him because he does what other people already do when it comes to teardowns, but it's from a pragmatic point of view, the way like Drew likes to approach things. Max Tech is what Drew would have been if he wanted to physically break down the hardware components of things and like get into that details of it. Because at the end of the day, unlike say like Linus or some of the other guys or Jerry Riggs, when you break it down and they're just talking about the schematics, what Max Tech does is open up to explain like this gives you better efficiency. This gives you that, and then in turn turns around and says like, here's how it outperforms the Intel i7. And it's just there's something that makes it about real life application. The way Drew talked about real life application, it's fun to watch it. Admittedly, I go to that for all things MacBook. I don't go there for iPhones and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just I I eat up the Mac stuff, but I'm also a very big Mac guy, so it's a win-win for him and for me, I guess. But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, so I have this little rule that I don't subscribe to channels that are more than 1 million subscribers, and it's kind of an arbitrary threshold. And I have broken it a couple times. One was PewDiePie back in the T-Series thing. I did break it for that. I have since unfollowed him or unsubscribed to him, but there have been a few minor exceptions.
No, I broke your rule. It didn't count if I remember. I subscribed something for you.
Who was that?
I think it was Matt D'Avella.
No, I got Matt D'Avella in the high 900s.
Okay, then
I was very, very happy with that.
It was it's somebody I'm subscribed to. Give me a second, I'll tell you, because I don't got many subscriptions. But I told you earlier this year at the beginning of the year, I said the rule doesn't count if I subscribe on your phone for you because
this is true.
You didn't do it, and that's exactly how you say. You're like, this is true, and so you left it alone.
You can click the button, but I won't.
Yeah.
Cinematographer guy. He did drone stuff, didn't he? Maybe not.
I don't know. Hang on.
I don't know.
Graham?
No.
It wasn't Graham?
Stephan?
Yeah.
No, I don't like him.
Okay.
I mean,
not Graham.
Nothing personal against him or his financial.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just too much clickbait.
No, I understand. I figure. Wait. Apple Explain?
Nah.
I don't have this many. Oh wait.
I don't know. It wasn't in the tech community. It was
Polymatter.
Minimalism related. No, I've been subscribed to Polymatter for, I think back in the 100,000s is when I was on board with him. Him and Windover. I was on Windover in the high 900s as well.
Wisdom on Tour.
Yes.
She's the one. Was it Vsauce?
Yes, she is the one. No, I don't subscribe to Vsauce. Although, so part of the thing is, YouTube knows me better than I know myself, so it knows that I don't want to subscribe to the people.
But it knows to give you the video.
But it knows to still give me their videos within, a couple days of them posting. So yeah, like Vsauce and Tom Scott, I believe. Anyway, red shirt British guy. Yeah, I watch those videos frequently enough where I should have just subscribed to him. But anyway, it's just fun little games that you can play in your mind that help you focus on what you actually want instead of letting
Epic Rap Battles
change
of History.
I'm sorry, what?
Epic Rap Battles of History.
I guess I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do.
Oh, was that the person? Oh, yes! That was the one! Oh my gosh!
Because we were having so much fun. And you're like, I wish I was subscribed. And I said, give me your phone.
And you subscribed to them for me.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. I promise I'm done interrupting. But if I didn't tell you, I was going to forget. But it was Epic Rap Battles of History.
That's funny.
All right. Carry on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's all about not letting the technology change you, right? Like, technology is a tool, very powerful tool for good or bad. But technology, social media, it changes the way you think. Just think of how you, if I was going to ask you a question, Randy, Randy, do you know how tall the Empire State Building is? That's how I would ask the question to a human. If I was asking that same question to Google, I would say Empire State Building tall. That's not natural. That's not natural human communication. That's the computer or technology or Google
Empire State
retraining.
Building tall. Siri,
did you get it?
Poor Siri doesn't understand.
But if we did the Google Assistant, she would have gotten that.
Yeah, of course. Google Assistant is perfect in everything. Oh my goodness.
But it's just like creating these little games in your mind that are fun and intellectually stimulating in a way that helps you manage technology in a way. Like, for example, I'm on Instagram quite frequently posting stuff, but I have never clicked on I mean, I had a previous Instagram life, but since I've rebooted it, I don't click on that scrolling through the infinite scrolling of Instagram. What's that called? The Explore feature or something?
Discover.
On Instagram, you can just discover. Yeah. I haven't clicked on that yet. And that's something where I'm like, I know I could get totally easily addicted to it really quickly, but I don't want that. I know I'm already way too addicted to YouTube, and I know I'm way too addicted to Twitter already. I don't want to add that piece of Instagram in. And it's stuff like that like, okay, 1 million subscribers, is that really a useful threshold? No, because there are tons of content creators who are awesome, who are over 1 million subscribers, just as many as there are who are not. But it's just a fun little game to play, I guess.
I like it. No, well, it's in a different way. It's minimalism in the sense that you're the whole point of minimalism is to apply critical thinking, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You could break the rule. Obviously, you said you're breaking the rule. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Is not about breaking the rule. The point is to challenge yourself. In a world where everything is right there at our fingertips, about we can overindulge on information, and we do, which is why people become desensitized to so much in the world, in the personal life. And
drop anyone from today back in the 90s and ask them to write even a simple college paper.
Suckers. But you can't have, you can't have a gratifying life with being wait in the biblical sense, when you overindulge, what's the sin of the 7 deadly sins?
Gluttony.
Gluttony. This is a form of gluttony.
Yeah.
And it is, in my opinion, quality over quantity, better to give yourself a quality life than a bunch of noise. Because
exactly,
statistically, medically, and psychologically, everything about it, it doesn't have a better outcome when people are just comparing themselves. Dude, I was comparing myself all the time to things. Even when I was aware of what I was doing, I was like, I'm not going to compare myself to it. Subconsciously, I was doing it. And I turned off notifications for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the adverse effect is that I don't go on Twitter. I'm sorry. Well, Twitter too. I don't go on Twitter or Instagram as much. But when I do, I'm on Twitter. Or again, sorry. I'm on Instagram because you get an influx of all these hearts from me because
Randy remembered to open Instagram this week. I got 90 likes.
Because I am inspired by your photo a day challenge for a year. It's so cool.
Thanks.
And I can't promise I would have the same discipline or something, but you are again giving yourself a challenge. Question, Nick, at the time of this episode going out, do people know about the other projects you're working on?
Yes, they do. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about.
Go ahead.
No.
All right.
No, you go ahead. Let's.
So I have a whole channel to contain my Nick pics.
Was that Drew's idea? Whose idea was this? Your idea?
No, that was mine.
I love it.
Okay, so there's a whole backstory here, which this is probably the perfect place to go into the backstory here at an hour plus into the show where no one is listening. I, in a previous life, not technically life, but when I was like 14 through 18 or so, I was running a photography business. And I would do weddings and events and, school photos, and I taught a few classes and did some picture walks and, just kind of fill in the time in high school and make some money and have some fun and learn a skill. I called that business Nick's Pics. I didn't get the joke until I was revisiting that thought a couple months ago, thinking of, I want to create some kind of photography channel. What name can I use? And I was like, Nick's Pics. I already have business cards made. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is too good of an opportunity to pass up. And as soon as I shared it with you and Drew and Scott as well, but all of them were just like, yes, use that.
I love it.
Okay, I'm getting this reaction.
Hey, did you get my
out
Nick
of it.
pic?
Better. I'm just sitting here refreshing my YouTube feed, waiting for that next Nick pic to drop.
I promise you, to this day, I've never shared a Nick pic, but I can't promise that will always be the case. Such a clever name.
Thank you.
And, I love it. Yeah.
I'm more excited about the content I'm going to be putting on it. Photography has been such a big part of my life as long as I can remember. My grandpa was a huge photographer. Just really enjoyed it as a passion. He wasn't professional or anything, but he really enjoyed it and had a bunch of gear. And I remember even when I was like 3 or 4, he was showing me how to take pictures. And I think I've grown up with the eye for photography, based on what I'm seeing on Instagram. Like, I'm able to produce enough pictures that I am proud enough to put on the internet every single day. Like, obviously I'm batching some pictures because I have a full-time job right now, but hopefully when you're listening to this, I am less glued to my job. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge that will keep me more regular, right? Like, if I don't challenge myself to do something, like last November, I was doing a Fill the Rings Every Day challenge. And I did that. I ran a 5K every single day with no exceptions until my knees fell apart in like June and July. And I've yet to get back on that boat. Hopefully that changes by the time the episode airs. But I am all about creating some kind of structure, and I work best around that kind of structure, right? Like, if I'm going to say I'm going to post a picture every single day on Instagram, oh boy, I better go out and take some pictures. And if I say I'm gonna fill my rings every single day, well, the easiest way to fill rings is to run a 5K. And so
this is true.
You make it happen. And it's just all these little brain games that you can play with yourself, that I play with myself, that help me be the person that I want to be, right? Because I think we all have that vision of that ideal Nick, that ideal Randy in the future, right?
Yeah.
The ideal Nick exercises every day, eats the right stuff, gets 9.5 hours of sleep, wakes up and does some meditation and Zen stuff in the morning, and doesn't do screens after sunset, and stays off social media. You have all of these aspirations, but you never actually do it, right?
Yeah.
And unless you have some kind of catalyst to get you going that right direction regularly, it's never going to happen. And humans are all built around patterns, right? If you do something for 30 days reliably... We are creatures of habits, yep. If you do something for 30 days reliably, you're going to be doing it no problem after that, right? That's why diets are so hard to get on.
After you do it 30 days, it's a lifestyle or something. They said something like that.
Yeah.
I forget the saying.
Yeah.
It becomes a hobby, becomes a habit. A habit becomes the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and every single time I've put one of these little mental games, I need to come up with a better name for it, maybe aspirational hobbies or something, or habits, on myself, I actually make them, right? Like, I'm posting a picture every day. I have for, a month and a half now. I'm pretty excited about that. I exercised till my body was broken, which, I haven't gone back on that, which I need to. Maybe that needs to be my New Year's resolution or something. But
maybe.
Anyway.
Oh, so many people. 2020 is gonna be my year.
I know. All these people right now, recording this on the 3rd, all these people are like, "Oh, 2021 is gonna be so much better." I'm like,
how I told you
this is
every
just
year.
The beginning.
Every year, I don't do New Year resolutions. I do New Year themes, and my theme.
What was your theme this year, Andy?
Not only am I going to tell you, I'm going to tell you how, because of the world and how it is today, how I was forced to. I'm gonna read you something, okay? I will answer your question by reading this to you. 2019, my theme was growth. Okay, that's 2019, and so on the 31st of December last year, I wrote this thing. 2019's theme of growth was a huge success. Huge success. I'm the most successful in the entertainment media than I've ever been. With the success of our podcasts and YouTube channels. That's crazy. I'm reading this for the first time almost a year later, so this is interesting. I married my best friend. We bought our first home. I've achieved true financial independence, investments, and passive income. I remember all this. Wow. For the first time in my life. And I've grown as a person who I now accept 100% of who I am. With that, to kick off the new decade just right, I'm pulling it all back and changing formulas. My theme for 2020, quality. if it doesn't add if it doesn't add value or something memorable, I won't do it. I'm not going to focus on what I do have. I'm going to focus on what I do have and work on watering those plants over planting new seeds this year. And that was forced upon me because of the pandemic. I focused on the equipment I had. I only bought one new thing, which was my keyboard, my piano keyboard. That was the only new thing I bought this year. I don't count the iPhone just because I was going to stick with the 11 Pro. I'm sorry, I'm going to get tech real quick. I was going to do it, but the fact that the Mini is the Mini and it's the dream phone, this is the one I think I'm going to hold on for a couple of years as well. You've inspired me to get a case, Nick. I love that color case. I love how square it is.
And with the Apple Wallet, oh my gosh, this is...
it looks so beautiful. It looks like a battery case, but functional.
I know, right? And whenever they do the inevitable smart battery case connector thing, you just slap it on, and I'm sure you can slap the wallet on top of that. And the wallet for the Mini, the wallet is it's the perfect size with this case that matches. I don't have to touch the aluminum.
When you come over, I want to see it in person, and that's going to probably sell me on it. But so anyway, quality was my theme for 2020, and oh boy, did I get a lot of quality time with that. I got a lot of quality time with my wife, with my dog, with myself. I'm still doing it. So much quality time that I've assessed that I'm going completely independent. So I think normally I evaluate my theme at the end of the year, and we're close enough to the end of the year that I think I'm going to say that this year's theme was a huge success. I guess I should start thinking about what my new theme will be, but I every single year for the last 5 or 6 years, I've always done a theme. I can pull up the list if you want to find the list, but I can probably spout it out in order or in some type of order. One year was change. I wanted to change. Everything about my life was kind of like going to crap, and I was like internally, and I needed to make some changes, so I did. 1 year was focus, and straight to that was when I actually focus was the year I think I started doing the podcast with you guys. I started picking up with this vibe, like I want to focus on this. Change, focus, growth. Create was one. So much so that I was like, I'm putting it on me. Create was one. That was the year. So I'm guessing if you're going back, if you're digging through my archive, that was the year I was putting out a lot of videos and experiment. All those videos, whether it was music, whether it was just skits or me vlogging, it was always, every video I make is always of me testing something new and representing something that I can that I'm playing around with in that time and how I can incorporate it something better later. I think that was all of them. Create, focus, change, growth.
In this year's
quality. That might be. I think I started in 2015. I think you're right. So I think that was it. I think the first year was create. Anyway, but to my point, yeah, I like doing themes because like you giving yourself these little challenges, whether you're going to do a 5K every day, whether you're going to post a photo every day, those are challenges just meant to be overall inspiring for you first. You have to make them count. It's exciting stuff. Yeah.
And if it's not exciting to you, then what's the point?
What was your favorite so far?
Favorite little challenge?
Yeah. I have a follow-up question after that, but first, what was your favorite challenge?
I think the activity one, honestly. I started, like, this time last year, like, I could barely walk up the steps. Like, I was not in a good place health-wise. Just, not exercising, not getting out and about. Like, anyway, I used to walk to work. I switched jobs and stopped walking to work, and didn't really change my diet. So, things snowballed, and I was like, oh boy, walking up the stairs is getting me out of breath. Something needs to change. And that was kind of the moment where I walked up the stairs and I was like, what? Something's changing here. How do I change this? And obviously running is the fastest way to burn calories or whatever and get your fitness in. And I'm into taking the Band-Aid off quickly. I don't like extended, things. So I started on the treadmill, and it was like, all right, I can barely walk a mile and a half. Like I could barely walk a mile and a half at the beginning, like last November. But by mid-December last year, I was jogging, a mile or two and then walking the rest. And it was kind of that momentum that I got to build up and see that change in myself. I lost a ton of weight. I was feeling better about myself. I was feeling healthy. I wasn't out of breath. I didn't feel guilty about, eating the occasional yummy meal that I love. I love food. But then, obviously my knees fell apart, which, by the way, probably not a smart idea to run that much without proper training and proper shoes and oil in the knees, evidently. But anyway.
You sound like a broken Marine. You sound like me.
I know. No, my knee still pops. I've been like waiting around for my knee to stop popping. Like I was like, okay, whenever my knee stops popping, I'll get back on the train.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
So I'm like,
I've been out of the court 8 years. Knee still pop.
Bummer.
There are remedies.
You need to get back on it.
There's remedies to it, but the most effective one is you just gotta get up and do it. Just don't, portion control. Even not just when we talk about like eating, but also in fitness. You have to be. You can. There is a thing of overdoing. You can overdo anything, and I don't want you to hurt yourself. It's not worth hurting yourself just to meet some arbitrary number that you gave yourself. It's not.
Yeah, and I was feeling that at the end there, like. June, July.
30-year-old Nick will thank you for that, and grandfather Nick will really thank you for that. Yeah, one day. Okay.
Wow, grandfather Nick. That's a scary thought. What was your follow-up?
My follow-up question was, what out of the current challenge you're doing now with your photos, which one's your favorite photo so far?
Oh, good question.
I have mine. I don't even look it up, but I'm going to look it up anyway.
Don't spoil it for me.
I'm not.
You keep your opinions. So the thing is, I only post like maybe 10% of the pictures I take. Like, I am very selective about what photos I publicize. Like, I'm that kind of a creative where like I only post the good stuff. I don't post mediocre stuff, at least on this Instagram page. So all these are really good. Like at the time when I was looking at my photo library, these all at some point were the best pictures that I had to post.
Yeah.
So it's a little difficult to choose my favorite now. Now I have a favorite picture of all time that I've ever taken, which I have in a tapestry right on my wall here. And I believe it's up on Instagram.
Is that considered narcissistic?
Yes, it is actually. Actually, it's not on my Instagram. Maybe I'll have to post that one of these days.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, it's the mountain and lake, which it's been on.
No, it's La Mesa, you jerk.
Oh, that's my Twitter bio. Those are two different things.
Yeah, I know. I'm just being a brat.
Yeah, for my current favorite picture, which is the one I posted 2 days ago, which I don't like today's picture as much as I like my 2 days ago picture, which was posted on December 2nd.
I wish you didn't tell me that. I wanted to guess because I can tell just from the way you caption it, you're like, I'm quite happy with this one, and it reminds you of something else. So
it does, yeah.
I'm gonna get
it's the
real quick.
Tree with a lake, and I also photography. Side tangent. I've never been a big RAW shooter. I've had plenty of cameras before that did shoot in that RAW file format. Yeah. I was just shot in JPEG because none of the software that I was using could deal with the RAW images effectively, and that set that I took on whatever day that pretty sunset, it was the same one with the pictures basically from the picture of the shadow through the road were all taken on the same day. It was a really pretty day, and I went out and took a couple hundred pictures, and so that's like a day's set. But that day was the first day I switched to RAW because iPad with iPadOS 14 finally supported native RAW photos in the Photos app, which, like, come on, we're on iOS 14. Why wasn't that a thing? But I took this picture, this lake with the tree, and the sky was all overexposed when I took it. It was I'll have to find the original and post it, but the sky was just all white. There was no texture. But since it was a RAW picture, I was really happy that I was able to recover blues, pinks, and like purples out of the sky and the lake. And I was like, "Thank you, RAW. I'm now a RAW believer, folks." So
now, this one was taken on the A6600.
Yeah, and that's my favorite picture today, December 3rd. 3 days ago, I would have said probably the Union Station picture because I was with a friend at the time. I don't know. Like I all of these pictures are the good ones.
I like how yours changes.
Yeah.
Um.
But I do have a few favorite pictures that are like old standbys. But yeah.
Sure. I like. Okay, before I tell you, I know which one my brain is defaulting to. Before I tell you, I'm gonna afford you the opportunity you didn't afford me. I want you to guess which photo you think.
Sorry. If I had to guess a picture on my, by the way, follow me on Instagram at nick.answeeney.
At
self-plug there.
Nick.answeeney. Is Nick Pics gonna be live at that point?
It is live now. I haven't decided what I'm doing with it because
it seems like you want to put
daily
these
pictures.
On. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want the daily pictures on my personal. I was trying a couple days. I posted them on both, but I don't know. There's also the Nick Pics on Instagram. I haven't decided what I'm doing with it yet, but you can go ahead and give it a follow there if you want.
Let me get them Nick Pics.
Yeah, they're very nice Nick Pics. They're very long. Girthy too. Oh boy.
That one looks veiny. What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I feel like you're gonna do a star picture. That would be one of your favorites. I'm gonna guess, Randy, you would have liked one of the star pictures I posted in mid-September.
You know, I will tell you. So close that it was going to be this one. Okay.
Ooh.
So close. I'm gonna let the camera focus real quick. I'm just assuming that everything will get video posted at some point. So I'm gonna let this focus. Look at that. That was done by like holy crap! It's so good.
Okay, so
I know you edit it, and
Oh no, I didn't just edit it. I have certain photography friends who would say I cheated, which I don't personally think that's cheating.
Okay,
but,
well, tell me the cheat. Well, before you do, no.
Yeah.
Tell me the cheat, and then I'll tell you what my favorite actually is.
Okay, cool. So this picture is basically two pictures that I photoshopped together. There's one of a perfectly exposed moon, because when you take a picture of the moon's so bright you can't see the stars because there's only so much range that you can expose to properly.
I'm not mad.
The moon was a separate picture, and then the star background's a separate picture, and basically I just masked around the moon and then pasted it on top. Simple Photoshop. But I have he's on my Instagram. I've tagged him a few times. Andrew Soderberg. He's one of my OG photography buddies, and he is very particular about the way he edits pictures. And every time I get out, Photoshop or Pixelmator or whatever, and actually do some layering, he's like, "Oh, you're cheating. You added that lens flare, or you whatever." And I'm like, "No, I'm enhancing the image." But
it's okay to.
So some people say cheat, but
hey,
I think it looks better. It's art.
It's art, and it's okay to.
Don't at me.
It's not a live. If you're doing a live photo, that'd be different. But much like music.
Well, if I was promoting it as, look at this cool picture I saw in my backyard, like, okay, that would be a little more cheating.
Well, yeah. You're like, shot on the iPhone, shot on iPhone 6. Yeah. Shot on 5. No, then you're lying. That's cheating. Much like live music as opposed to studio recording music. Studio recording, guess what, folks? That probably wasn't my first take. If I was singing it or if I was playing the instrument, I probably had like 15 takes of something, That's just you want to give the best presentation overall image or for this case image, and with music, the best overall, experience, but no, that's fine. So, here's my favorite. But I'm going to show the camera first before I show you. Okay? You're out of focus, so you can't see. I'll wait for it to focus. There it is. Ta-da. That is my favorite. Period.
Oh, wow, what a good picture, Randy. Oh, it's the most beautiful picture.
Oh, it focused on me again because I went. There you go. Look at that. It's so perfect. Ready, Nick? I'll tell you why. Because it's so minimal.
Oh, the OG one. That is the picture that started it all.
This is my favorite picture because it's so clean. It's so everything. It's minimal. It's colorful. It's vibrant. It's also just essential. Everything about it. It's everything's right where it needs to be. And the one that started the journey, which inspired me, this is my favorite photo. So the story behind it makes it my favorite, and just how clean of a photo it is.
Did I share with you the story behind it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
can I share with the audience?
You can, but I just, to be clear, I'm not talking about the actual production that took you to get that photo. I'm talking about you.
Yeah. It
actually,
started
like,
the thing.
Getting started with the story behind it is inspired.
Yeah.
But the actual technical part of it is amazing.
Yeah. That was actually shot on an iPhone 10.
Is he cheating?
It's also what my friend would consider a cheating photo. There's tons of so the actual picture looks somewhat similar. It is. I took my iPad. I wanted an RGB kind of light on the lens. I wanted that kind of a look. So I grabbed my iPad, pulled up an RGB image, turned the brightness all the way up, got in a dark room, put up my matte black cloths to darken the background, took my iPhone 10 out. I took that picture, but it was kind of noisy and pixelated, so I went into Pixelmator and I shrunk it down until it looked good quality, and then I just added a black border and I masked out some stuff and did some retouches here and there to get rid of logos and stuff. But yeah,
I love
good picture. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Everyone should check out my Instagram.
Yeah, I love it because it was shot on an iPhone, so it shows the capabilities of what phones can do now. I love it because of the technical aspects of it. I love the meaning behind it because it was, even though I don't think it was the first one that actually posted, it was the first one you took when you said you were going to start it. So the meaning that was the inspiration to do this challenge. And I love the simplicity of it. I love how clean it looks. I love how colorful and vibrant it is. Everything about it I absolutely love. And I think to date, that's my favorite one that represents me. But if I didn't understand the story about it, then yeah, it would have been the star one. I love astrology so much. I'm glad we made the last 15, 30 minutes about you to end the show. It's great.
I know. I was gonna say we need to talk about music now. Actually, we should save a whole episode for that. We'll just have a whole episode on.
I like going through your catalog and looking at your that. It's most people, and I'm also people, go on their phones and I look for visually appealing content. And when I go on your page, I genuinely leave happier than I was getting in it, just because I like looking at it. I like reading your you'll in every post you'll put a scripture, and I just like there's so much negativity, so much comparing, so much all this ugliness, that there's genuine art in your photos. And then I just what's the thought of the day? It's Nick's thought of the day. You'll add your words, and then you'll put a scripture, and then it's you, and I appreciate what it is, and I will walk away feeling better. And I think that's your intent, and if it is, it's working for me. And I would say if it's working for me, I don't think it's only working for me. So it's good.
I'm glad my Nick pics left you satisfied and smiling.
I don't have a Nick pic.
Yep.
Mine's ugly.
We need to stop.
I know.
This is only going downhill from here, folks.
This is a good spot
right?
to stop.
This is right before the precipice.
On that lovely note,
this is where we stop.
this is exactly where we're gonna stop. I don't know if there'll be music added at this. If there is, here's the music, and if there isn't, you'll hear music soon, because I like writing music.
Hey.
Yeah. Until then, we'll talk to you guys next time. I don't even know when this is when this is posting. I forgot your schedule.
I have a whole schedule.
Yeah. So whenever this is posting, we'll see you again on this following. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.